One of the most dangerous moments after reconnecting with an ex is when things actually start going well and you're progressing and you're reconnecting. And then fear has a tendency of kind of creeping up again. And it's the fear of losing progress, the fear of going back. And many people start to stress and are afraid of messing things up. And I wanted to do a video to help you to make sure that you can maintain momentum and not let this fear cripple you or get in your own way, especially when you've done the work, especially when you've grown, you're more clear, you have new tools, and you're really ready for reconnection, but you simply want to make sure that you don't mess things up. That is what this video is all about, how to continue to nurture connection and rebuild a healthy relationship beyond the first interaction with your significant other after a breakup. My name is Coach Adrian, breakup and reconciliation coach, and this is the Ex Back Playbook, a series to help you rebuild healthy connection with the person that you love after a breakup. Many times, people have a lot of clarity as to what they need to work on, pulling away, setting boundaries, and are truly sincere about bettering themselves after a breakup. And sometimes it involves a period of no contact or distance to be able to focus on yourself. You're clear about the fact that you're going to need to reconnect with your significant other, perhaps through a message or a letter or a phone call or a text. And all that can be scripted. However, after that initial reconnection, the training wheels are off and you have to really interact with this person in real time. And this is where the process truly becomes organic and where all of the work that you've done up to this point is put into practice in those live day-to-day text or phone call or in-person interactions. Sometimes things can feel very natural and easy and you can laugh. And unfortunately, other times, anxiety can also take over because fear creeps up again. You worry that the connection will fade or that you're going to lose momentum or that ultimately they won't want to recommit to you. And it's very easy when you start to feel anxious and stressed to start to put subtle pressure on your significant other. Perhaps you're going to push for a little bit more serious conversations or for things to accelerate, where you're going to seek emotional reassurance. And that might come in the form of, asking questions like, where's this going? Or asking them about what they've been doing on their time, or if they're still talking to someone from their past, or something along those lines that can start to put pressure on the significant other and on the process of reconnection itself. And obviously then you lose momentum. And that pressure isn't always so obvious. Sometimes it creeps up in your tone or in the timing of a message or the way that you unintentionally convey certain expectations or emotional urgency. And your ex feels that pressure and then they start to back away. And so what I really want you to understand is that healthy reconnection is something that happens very naturally. You do not have to force movement constantly. It's not your responsibility to make sure things continue to progress, to advance. What you're responsible for is to make sure that you continue to try to stay relaxed, that the interactions are mutual, that they're safe, in order for them to become sustainable and for him to not feel like pressure, like you're ultimately only focused on a certain outcome or there's an urgency or a heaviness linked to those conversations. And very often the turning point comes when you stop trying to secure a future together, when you're just in the moment, in the present moment, and just able to react based on how that moment presents itself. No agenda. Because when there's an agenda, oftentimes the other person starts to feel it. And when there's no agenda, you also give space and time for your significant other to co-create something new with you. And to do that, of course, you need to be very self-aware and you need to have done the work, which I assume that you have done the work at this point. So being self-aware means asking yourself questions. What is it that you're most fearful of? Is it the mixed signals? Is it losing momentum? Is it that you're investing emotionally in something that may not occur? Because if you're able to articulate that again, you're going to be able to then come up with practical day-to-day tools that can help you to process those emotions in real times. And if you need support with that, that's what we're here for. In private coaching, we can help you to gain these tools to process your emotions and to get the reassurance that you need to be able to be yourself and to interact with your ex just like you did the first time around. So don't rush for labels. Don't rush to try to get your ex to confirm that you're back together or to confirm where this is going. This should clarify itself very naturally as you start to spend more time together and as you start to engage with each other in a different way. That is how you're going to be able to rebuild the type of relationship that you want. So I'm not asking you to be passive. I'm asking you to focus on rebuilding momentum by being emotionally present, by being consistent, by truly being able to validate your significant other when there's still some things that need to be cleared up, but without you forcing them to see your change. I really encourage you to prove your change through action rather than through words, and to let them kind of seek out that change rather than forcing it onto them. The more you are able to pass those tests, the more your significant other will feel safe, will feel accepted as they are, and the more they're going to be able to take those steps towards you that you are really yearning for. So let's keep the interactions positive, no drama, no conflict, no negativity. Let's keep things light. If you can make them smile, great. If you can ask sincere questions, great. And let's try to be emotionally consistent. No spikes, no pressure. Patience. Patience. Healthy reconnection develops gradually over time. Many people sabotage this process because they're too focused on the outcome instead of being focused on the process of rebuilding healthy dialogue. I've made that mistake. I've coached thousands of people who have also made that mistake, and it's okay. The most important is for you to be engaged in a process of learning where you can reflect on your actions, on the dynamic every day so that you can continue to refine it. And again, we can support you in private coaching to do that if it feels confusing or if you need a little bit of reassurance and guidance along the way. The link is in the description below for those of you who want that support. Ultimately, if you have done the work to get to this point, this is the fun part. This is the beautiful part, because you get to interact again with this person that you love in a way that feels very natural. That's what you already know to do. You've done it before, and it's about really overcoming fear, anxiety, and the emotional baggage that has built up along the way, clearing that so that you can create a new chapter with this person that you love so dearly, really. And in the next video, we're going to talk about when to know that your ex is ready to commit to you. And it's very different from like that temporary emotional openness from them feeling truly ready to invest in a new and improved relationship with you. We're not going to try to trick them and just seal the deal if there's a moment of doubt in their mind. No, we want them to intentionally commit to you as well, because they're inspired by the growth, by the change, by the tools that you have been able to develop since the breakup, and wholeheartedly commit to creating a new dynamic with you. I look forward to exploring that with you in episode 12, which will be the last episode of this series. Thank you for your trust, and let's continue to fight the good fight together.